we've had quite an interesting panel over here discussing about where we see the refining and petrochemicals industry moving ahead for the region. I think one of the key takeaways is that we're looking at a sector that's probably trying to play catch up to what a lot of the world is already experiencing today. And it's really important to establish the right competitive edge. The competitive edge is going to come from two areas: internally from a cost, technology, efficiency, sustainability standpoint. Do more with less, make sure that you're at parity with the rest of the world or better off. On the other side, it's about making sure that you identify where the demand zones are, geographies, end user segments, and then make sure that you're aligned towards delivering in line with that demand, and then probably staying one step ahead. So we discussed about digitization being a key enabler. We discussed about operational efficiency being a key enabler. And the industry obviously has a lot to contribute to the region, can contribute a lot to the economic development. So those are some of the key things we found of interest here in this session today.
We see today that there will be a lot of new projects taking on stream in the next few years. This is going to change the business model of the region. We at Dow, we are proud to be part of that. With our investment in Sadara, in joint venture with Saudi Aramco, we just added a new wave of product that were never produced in the Middle East region. This will fuel a new business model that will favor the proliferation of a new small and medium enterprise. The Sadara Petrochemical Complex in joint venture with Saudi Aramco is the largest petrochemical complex ever built in single phase in the world. It will add products in the region that were never produced, like isocyanate, polyether, polyols, and this will also come with a value park where local enterprise can develop their own downstream chemicals. This will help the region to change from a business model based on trading into a more differentiated industry based on transformation.
First, I'd like to say that it's been a real honor to be here participating in this roundtable with ADNOC and other regional experts and global experts from industry around the world. Some of the key takeaways that I've come to from this discussion is that this part of the world has been primarily focused on large-scale production of commodities that have been for export, and that has been driven by the large quantities available here of oil and gas, as well as the margins that were achievable. But now, as we move toward a future of more electrification of transportation, a shift from refining, providing transportation fuels, but more providing petrochemicals and those types of end products, we are starting to see a shift. And although R&D and complexity hasn't been necessarily a focus in this region has built some of the largest facilities in the world, and there have been capabilities developed as part of that. So taking those capabilities and converting them more toward producing high-value end products is going to be the future for this region. That's going to take partnerships with corporations from all over the world. It's also going to take local talent development and also fully harnessing the digitalization technologies that have been developed. So what we've been discussing is that the future is going to look much different than the past, and it looks like this region is very well positioned for that and is going to take advantage of the tools and partnerships needed to get there.
The key takeaway for this event, or the discussion with the people around the business, that we understand that we had a very glorious 10 years of downstream business. 10 years ahead of us is very challenging and very competitive in order to give up priorities, and the key priorities are operation excellence, digitalization, and also profitability. We need to stay high profitability to stay in the market, and we need to adopt a lot of evidence or a lot of elements on the operational excellence area.
My key takeaway from today's roundtable discussion was to see that we are really having most of the players in the GCC region the same topic to discuss, and we have something to share. I think this is important knowledge for me. This gives opportunity for the company, and definitely also a nice opportunity to network with key stakeholders in the region. So I'm very thankful for being part of that discussion.
The roundtable, actually, I found it very interesting because of mostly two things. One is the diversity of the type of people we met with them today. Operators, business owners, vendors, consultants. This mixture of experience is actually what you are looking for here in ADNOC. The second key output from this, or the second key outcome from this roundtable, is actually we all came to an agreement how we can see the future. And it is very clear that in the future we need to concentrate on profitability, we need to concentrate on securing market, on getting the right partnership, and in digitalization. These areas where we need to spend some time in every area to know what is the best way to handle it.
I have had the pleasure of the roundtable with ADNOC today. My main takeaway of the discussion is the downstream industry has a very bright future. Across the entire GCC, there is a need to be profitable among the entire operators and to compete with the rest of the world. There's good efforts that are being made. I think the one thing that still needs to be considered is to utilize a best available technology concept. Whatever is available that can save money now and bring up efficiency, that's one of the things to do. With technology providers such as our companies and service companies, that is the one thing that needs to be done in the future. And the entire GCC will be able to compete. Feedstock makes it ready for a competitive market, and the commodities that are being produced can certainly service the entire world.
There is an exciting time for the downstream and for the region. The industry will play a significant part in the Middle East diversification, driving sustainable long-term growth. There are fundamentals we have to get right, such as integrating digitalization into our electrification and automation. Digitalizing the entire value chain will maximize profit and it will unlock the potential. It is going to be an interesting journey, and I'm looking forward to Siemens playing its part in the transformation journey.
I would like to thank ADNOC and ITP for organizing this important event. The panelists and the discussions were very relevant. The discussions is very much aligned to the Honeywell business strategy as well as future direction. It's very aligned to Honeywell Connected Plant, specifically digital transformation, refining information systems, management operating systems, and command and control center. I would like to ensure that we are continuing to be connected with ADNOC as we move forward. Honeywell is invested in UAE, and we would be looking forward to such opportunities with ADNOC.
Today being the 10th anniversary of the RPME Downstream Roundtable Conference, I think it's been a really interesting get-together and discussion on the various topics plaguing the Middle East downstream industries. The first and foremost, what we learned here is the way the GC refineries and petrochemical companies operate with terms of operational excellence, refining petrochemical integration, the digital initiatives and technology transformation happening in the industry. I think the second most important point is where we see the challenges and opportunities plaguing this industry and what risk mitigation steps can be taken to address these gaps. One key takeaway what I realized from this discussion is that in the way forward, even though the GCC downstream industry is locating most of its refineries in the Asian continent, but still there's a lot of availability of feedstock in the Middle East. The way they should be able to position their Asian economic refineries would be in a greater extent trying to understand the implications of that in the Asian economies. Last but not least, there was definitely a complete consensus on the way the operators and the technology providers would operate in the future refinery and petrochemical projects. One last takeaway would be that there is definitely unison that key to having an effective refinery or petrochemical projects is to have a robust capital project technology transformation, which will definitely propel the GCC refinery petrochemical industries.